What's going on, guys and gals? Stock Jock here. Up $322 on the first hour trading. I finished the day up around 350, so just a slow day for me. Um, it could have been a big winner, but I've been kind of over trading recently, trying to get my account over $100,000 in the account, which really means nothing in the grand scheme of things. I take money out of this all the time. It's not like it's a huge milestone. If I took out, if I put back in all the money I took out of it this year, it'd be well over $100,000. But for some reason, it's just driving me crazy that it's sitting right there with $99,088 in it. I just wanted to get over 100,000. So I've been like waking up, trying to trade the pre-market 2 days in a row now, and lost heavily in the pre-market. And you'll see that today. Made some trades pre-market, which had me starting in the red, which just sucked because I had a nice win today, but it just broke me. Made me break even. So without further ado, let's get into the trades. So at this point in the morning, I actually was down about 600 bucks, I believe. If we look back at the when we show the live trading video, you'll see in the top corner of the screen that I've already been down like 650 bucks before the market even opened. I'm trying to play pre-market, so shooting myself in the foot before the market even started. To cap it all off, this first trade completely screwed me. Each trade completely screwed me. This is 2 days in a row where the platform really kind of failed on me. Yesterday, I did call E-Trade about a failure of the platform, and they did rectify the situation. Today, I'm not going to bother calling them about this because they did well yesterday, and I happened to turn green today. So I don't want to complain again, but again, you'll see I hit the buy button. Okay, first off, the trade. So Pixie gapping up on some news, whatever. I don't hardly ever trade the first minute of a stock, but today I did so on this one, more so because of how it was setting up. So you can kind of see here on the 5-minute chart, the pop up to this level here, and then the pullback, the second pop up to this same level here, and then the pullback. And this pullback was obviously much higher than this one. If you kind of put these lines here like so, you got these supporting levels, you got resistance levels here, and this trend line right through here, right? Which creates a nice ascending triangle kind of look here. It's kind of a bullish sign saying, okay, the next curl up is going to break through this level and we're going to see it explode out of the gates. And I was thinking that was going to happen as soon as the bell rung. So I did what I hardly ever do. I buy at the open. I hit just a market order, and I'm thinking it's going to go shooting through 4, and I'm going to sell on the other side of 4 immediately as it breaks $4. It's maybe 10-15 cent win. So what happens is I hit the buy button, I get filled, but it doesn't really show up in my order status. I immediately start trying to sell it, and I hit the sell button. I'm just clicking it, and this error kind of pops up here, right? And I'm like, I have shares to sell the freaking shares, and you'll see it up here in my positions. It's showing that I have shares to sell. I hit the sell button. Nope, tells me you don't have the shares to sell. So I'm doing this for like 20 seconds as I see the stock price just cranking down. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose so much money out of this. Luckily, finally, the order goes through, and you'll see it. I tried to sell 5 seconds after I bought it, and it was like 25 or 20 seconds later that finally, when I hit the sell button one time, it went through, and it just added salt to the wound for the morning.
So I'm thinking Pixie for a quick scalp out of the gates from 390 to 4, and then maybe switching gears for red to green on BioC. So hands on the buy button, watching. 77, 71 on Pixie. I thought Pixie would be a little stronger out of the gates. Over 85 is a scalp maybe. High of day is 90 still. Low of day So that's kind of disappointing. It's not.
So that first trade, E-Trade screwed up. This trade, I screwed up. Well, I can't say I screwed up. I want to say it was maybe a good trade that didn't go right. I don't know. I think maybe the only mistake I had on this one is I took too much size. So you always have to gauge what kind of market you're in. You can't trade the same way every single day or every single month. It just doesn't work that way. Sometimes the market's going with you and you can take bigger size because it's going to work out for you. A lot of times the market's just not there. And yesterday proved that it is not here. And I didn't really listen to that sage advice. Yesterday there was just no follow through. So what did I do today? I decided to take a double position size on the first stock that hit my scanners, which was RCON. It hits my scanners. I see quickly on the daily chart that we're cracking this resistance level here at basically 160. We had like a double top here. We're breaking through that level. I just immediately dive head first into it, thinking, okay, we're going to test 190 and probably $2 pretty easily, right? I go long. I think I get in at like 172. I almost top tick this, I believe. Maybe it was 170. I mean, absolutely terrible fill. So as soon as I get in, it just stops moving. I know one chat room got into it. I know Warrior Trading was watching it. So I know people were watching this thing. It just stops and then boom, the bottom falls out. So when this happens, this kind of big drop like that, huge bearish engulfing candle, I'm looking to get out. You'll hear me say I'm stopping out. That tells my group, my chat room, that I'm looking to exit when I can. And it was either going to be the break of 150. If 150 looked like it was going to break, it's definitely stopping out. Otherwise, I'm just looking for a little bit of a relief bounce, maybe up to the VWAP, and sell there. And that's kind of what happened. It took me a while to exit. I gave it a chance to maybe go candle over candle to get up in here again, to save myself a little bit. But this is how I went from basically around $850 down to over $1,400. So not the best way to start the morning. I hadn't had a winner yet, so this one hurt. But they can't all be winners.
DSL around $2. You see some bigger sellers up there though. Archon on the scans. Archon I could take a scalp on potentially. We'll see if it holds up. And probably over 75 would be a scalp on Archon.
Long Archon 172 chat room pump.
Stopped out of BioC for a $715 loss.
Stopping out. AAOI cracking 50. So this next trade was my first green trade for like a whopping $60 or something like that. But it was nice to get a green trade in my belt. So BioC has been just going nuts the past 3 days, and it's given us trade opportunities. So it was a stock that's everybody's kind of watching out of the corner of their eye, especially if there's nothing going on. So this one had me intrigued because it kept making these higher lows coming up to the VWAP, and this one kind of poked through the VWAP. So there's a higher low here, dips down, makes a higher low here, higher than this one, pops back up, dips down again, which is higher than this low. Pops up, dips down again, which is higher than this low. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, this thing's going to break through the VWAP, which it ended up doing in a nice way if I would have held on a little bit longer. So I go long. It goes against me pretty quickly, but it pops back up. I think this is the right time frame I bought it at. No, maybe a little earlier. No, that's it. And I just didn't hold it long enough, but I tried to get out from about a 7-8 cent win, and when I hit the sell button, it dropped it down 4 cents on me. So I got, like a 3 cent, 2.5 cent win out of it. Whatever. It was nice to have a green trade, but if I would have held it a little bit longer, it would have had a nice breakout. And it hurt to watch that move happen without me. In BioC 780. Stop loss will be 750.
BioC, Pixie kind of, pop up there and now rejecting down. If it goes through a low day, then that's, a bull trap. So it traps in buyers up here and then, flushes down. BioC had profit from 8 to 820 and then added 820 and gave back that profit.
Out
says
plus
I told-
3 somehow.
So,
Didn't get filled as
such good
790.
Teresa May says purple.
So this next trade was BioC, and it was this pop right here that I did get a piece of. So what I was watching for was on the 5-minute chart. You can kind of see that there's a very distinct level of resistance right through here. Let's bring it down a little bit. Right through there. In that area, let's just call it that area, where it's just hit its head, it's popped through but came back down, popped through, came back down. This is all pre-market over here, but just a level, even at the open, just a level of resistance around this 820, 830 level. And what I was watching for is, first off, we broke the VWAP, but also what told me to buy was the volume coming into this here. So when I saw the volume start surging in, and you'll see that on the L2 and the time of sales here, I should say the time of sales, you'll see just green start flashing through, and that's just a lot of buying. That's a lot different than what was going on earlier. So just kind of a change in habit on this stock, and I hit the buy button twice. I took 4,000 shares of this, and it did not pay off right away. I got some good fills, which was nice. That's why I was able to weather the storm a little bit, as the stock was really struggling at first with all this volume coming in. It was only moving up like 10 cents, and it was hovering around 820 for a while until finally it just blew past it. But as soon as it blew past it, I sold half. I was trying to hit 840. I think it filled me at 837, something like that. And the second half I sold around 850, and then shortly after that it halted at 880. And then after the halt, it just went nuts. So it hurt to not have those shares after this halt, because I knew it would kind of go nutso. But this trade basically was a $1,400 winner, and I think after the trade was over, I was up 14 bucks on the day. So all it takes is one trade to get you back to green. So you just gotta be patient. Just gotta wait for it.
Just added on BioC at 820 for the break of 828, which is high a day. So you see volume coming in here as it's curling back up. So 828 is the spot that I'm watching. There we go. So there's the high a day. That's what I wanted to see. Sold on the ask at 850 for about $2,000 profit. So I went from being down 1,800 on the day to being up 1,000. So the high is now.
So this next trade is, one of my favorite setups is the pop pullback candle over candle play. So whenever there's a significant pop, and I would say, only 960 to 1050 basically in 1 minute, I'd call that a significant pop. So whenever that happens, and I'm not part of this, right? In fact, it was on its downtrend. I don't know why it bounced like it did, but it just went nuts. So anyway, nice pop, right? I'm not a part of it. I can't chase it. There's just no entry. I just can't just jump into this. I don't have an entry. There's no point that I'd say, yes, this is a reason why I'm getting into it. If I'm not part of the initial pop, and if I don't get in early, I've got to wait for a pullback. So what I mean by pullback is one of these candles that does not make a new high. And then I will play the first candle after a pullback to make candle over candle. So here's a pop. The high is 1049. Here's the continuation of that pop. The high here is 1065, made a new high out of this pop, not out of the overall. I'm talking about out of this specific move. So 1065, this candle. Okay, the high here is 1061. So this is the start of the pullback. This candle, the high is 1055. Didn't break this high, so this is not the one we're playing off of. I was inside this candle, I had my hand on the trigger. As soon as it looks like it's going to break the high of the last pullback candle, that's my buy. If I was inside this candle, if we were inside this candle and we're about to crack this high right here of the pullback candle, I'd do the same thing. I'd buy right there, but it just didn't happen. So I got to wait, and here's the setup. So pop, continued pop, pullback candle, and we're inside this candle, and as soon as it hits that little peak right there, 1058, or it looks like it's going to break 1058, I have my finger on the buy button. I buy, pops up. I should have sold quicker. I didn't. It comes back down. Luckily, it got enough juice in it for it to get a secondary pop, and I sold for a little profit.
So I'm going to take a starter here on Pixie and add over 15. Just add it on Pixie at 414. So on Pixie, I'm thinking move up to.
Watching BioC for a high day break.
Got to break over 415 and then 420, 425. Watching. Nice bid there at 413. I'm going to stop out 413 because that bid's getting sold into. So.
All right, so my last trade of this hour was kind of a unique setup that, I guess I'd call it a little bit more of an advanced eye would find it. Maybe not your new trader. They'd be like, oh, that's what you saw? So this is what I saw. Okay, so we had this nice move up here, 5-minute chart right here of BioC. Moving up, pullback. Then we had the candle over candle in the 5-minute, and it literally gave you 8 cents. That's not what you want to see. The very fact that it gave you an 8-cent move on the first candle on the 5-minute chart to give you candle over candle, that's a bearish sign, and it definitely sold off $1. Okay, so seeing that, I wasn't interested in it until I saw this. So this green candle made, kind of a relief bounce, and then you'd expect this to start heading lower for the stair steps, down like that. Well, instead, it created a double bottom right here on these two candlesticks. This red candlestick and this red candlestick had the exact same low, 980, which is a bullish sign. It's setting in a level of support right there. So watching that, and you kind of see that there's one of the, that's the low 980, and that's the low right here on the 1 minute chart. So these two guys right there creating this low. So when I see that, I'm looking for an entry point to play off of that. And that came as I was watching the 1 minute chart here. Okay, so there's that 980 level, got a little bit of a pop up, comes down. 990 is the low here, $10 is the low here, 1010 is the low here, 1012 is the low here. It's making these, it's an ascending triangle, right? The lows are getting higher and the highs are keeping the same. So it's like creating this spring that's being compressed and it's ready to explode upward and just give you a pop. All right, it's not, I'm not saying this is going to run high a day, and I don't think it did, but it gives you enough of a pop to make money off of, right? So like $10 to 1066. I mean, I'll take 66 cents or try to get a piece of that move any day of the week. So I got in through here. Volume started to come in, and I was just playing for the break of this kind of ascending triangle that was building up here after I saw that the direction was changing, right? I wasn't interested in this move until I saw, like, this was showing me right here that it was a downtrend. But when it set in this double bottom, that tells me that it's changing directions, and now the direction is going to be up. It could be for a short amount of time, could be another huge move up, but nonetheless, it's telling me the change of direction is setting in, and now I can look for an entry, and that entry was off this 1 minute play right here. A little bit more advanced to see, but the more you trade, the more you'll see these things.
You know, that's why it's just heartbreaking. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Like, this is what I was thinking was going to happen from that base. Instead, we got a $10, $12 drop first, and then it went and did it. It's just like, what are you going to do? There's not much to really say. It just is what it is, but it's tough to stomach sometimes, right? But it's okay. Next week it won't even be in my mind, you know.
And that's how I ended the morning, up $322. And it could have been a lot more had I not taken some stupid trades early on in the pre-market. So it is what it is. I guess I'll have to just wait till next week to get 100,000 in cash in my trading account, bit to visibly look at and say, hey, that looks nice. If you have any questions on my trading style or in trading in general, please join my free Discord chat room. The link for that is in the description down below. If you're interested at all in any of the other chat rooms that I personally subscribe to, also the links for those are in the description. Highly recommend all of them. They all are different, and they all are very useful in their different ways. So if you have any questions on those, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I will see you next week.